tell you how the Legend Award began, because there wasn't one. Until I got a DVD in my hand, and it said Ray Bradbury's Kaleidoscope, with a really cool picture of some spaceship in space. And I went, wow, I remember reading the Martian Chronicles, and I wanted to be an astronaut. Challenge was, I have claustrophobia. So I can't be an astronaut, and that's probably why I'm standing here today. So whenever I do something new that I kind of go through my board, and I said, hey, I said, something came across, and there's this, I didn't say what it was. I said, this man, who I feel is a legend, has written over 500 short stories. That's what new media is about. We're about all ages, all cultures, all media. As you can see, we have an international art gallery outside. We have live performance earlier. He touches all ages, all cultures, all media. And so we proceeded to arrange to have the Legend Award.
Incredible man, and what an incredible message, too. When I was asked to do this, I did an awful lot of thinking about what could I say that he hadn't already said himself. It's true, I also, much like Ray, and this is about as far as the comparisons will go, I fell in love with comic books, and I do what I love to do. And I've written and drawn many comic books. I work in fantasy and in science fiction storytelling. But ultimately, the truth of any of the success of those things has everything to do with character and with true connection and with true communication. And this is what Ray was a master at. He was a master at communication. A lot of people think that the Farenheit 451 had so much to do with totalitarianism and book burning, but really at the core of that story was the idea that we, as consumers of information, there's many different ways to get it, and it's there's passive forms, and much what was happening also at that time period when he was writing that book was the advent of TV. And he was such a great lover and a great believer in books and in the idea of active consumption of information instead of passive consumption of information. And this is something that he carried over into all of his stories. And it's fitting for the New Media Festival. Also, when we get this full circle, we come into the internet and the idea of interaction and a new form of dialogue that's happening right now in our age, Legendary Legend Award. And if I could have Miss Sally Kirkland come up to accept the award. Ms. Kirkland has a few of her own fantastic Ray Bradbury stories, but one being that she also worked with Ray during the 1992, the Zero
Hour.
The 0 Hour.
So, let me get a mic.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I was so touched to be asked to be part of this, Ray, wherever you are, moment. But my very first film audition, movie for Hollywood, was 1966, and David O. Selznick brought me by the hand to Francois Truffaut to be seen for Farenheit 451. And I lost to Julie Christie, as you probably figured out. But that was my very first Hollywood movie audition, and it was terrifying. And it was absolutely mind-boggling to have Ray Bradbury, Francois Truffaut, introduced by David O. Selznick. But I got to meet Ray when I went to Canada to star in the 0 Hour, which was on the Ray Bradbury Theatre and Television. And I was just so, humbled. And I got to tell him, way back when I was 12 in 1953, I read Farenheit 451. And then I got to be seen for the movie in 1966. And then I got to meet Ray in 1992 and tell him how much he touched my life. And Ray, God bless you and your life. God bless your daughters, 4 daughters, 8 granddaughters. And may they receive this with the extraordinary celebration that we give up to you and your work, and how it's inspired, I'm sure, all of us. So be it.
Kaleidoscope means observer of beautiful forms, and Ray did so all his life. From the awesome formations in the sky to the vast variety of characters on Earth, he was indeed a kaleidoscope. William Shatner.
Wow, very nice.
And last but not least, even though Ray was only in a brief moment of my life, he touched me deeply with his warmth, his kindness, and his loving spirit. I, as well as everyone here, shall miss him. Thank you, Ray.
So when Brett and I were talking about the film, he said it was the last film that Ray Bradbury saw of his work, and he cried, and he was really proud of it. So we're going to enjoy that.